WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque takes a shot at Fightful and PWInsider in the post-Backlash press conference. Plenty of details on that and the reaction to it from the outlets, as well as some apologies reportedly from WWE as well. More details on Drew Gulak's exit from WWE, with Triple H claiming he wasn't released. Rather, instead, WWE decided not to extend his contract. It is now official. WrestleMania 41 will be headed to Las Vegas, Nevada next year. All of the details on WrestleMania heading to Allegiant Stadium. CM Punk, funnily, was locked inside WWE HQ after doing the Backlash pre-show last night, and WWE announces several matches for the first round of the King of the Ring on Monday Night Raw. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestle News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off with Triple H's comments at the Backlash post-show press conference that got a lot of people talking, specifically regarding his comments about pro wrestling news outlets Fightful and PWInsider. Now, this is what occurred here. So, first of all, Triple H was asked during the press conference about Drew Gulak's exit from WWE. It had been reported first, actually, by several different outlets. I believe it was first by the Wrestling Observer, saying that Drew Gulak had been released by WWE. Now, in the post-show press conference, Paul Levesque was asked, saying that Fightful and PWInsider had reported that Gulak was let go. And the question was Gulak's departure from WWE anything to do with the allegations made against him by Ronda Rousey? Now, Triple H responded by saying, quote, "First of all, if you're going to cite news sources, pick some good ones. That's where I would start. Credible, really, maybe." So, the implication was he was saying that Fightful and PWInsider, they were not credible news outlets. Now, we do have some reaction to this from Sean Ross Sapp, of course, the lead reporter from Fightful, as well as Mike Johnson from PWInsider, a lead reporter from that outlet as well. Let's start off with what Sean Ross Sapp has said on Twitter regarding this. He said, quote, "I've been told by WWE PR that Triple H lumping in Fightful was a mishap. I don't think PWInsider should have been trashed either. Would like to that type of thing clarified publicly, as intentionally undermining the work of people who take the steps to verify info is messed up." He continued on by saying, quote, "It was further clarified to me by WWE that Triple H's comment was regarding the person asking the question, inquiring that Gulak's departure was related to Rousey. I can't speak for anyone else, but we didn't report that at Fightful." Now, he also said and responded to a tweet from Brandon Thurston saying that there are tons of valid and much needed criticisms to direct at wrestling media, but PWInsider and Fightful are two of the most reliable sources that break news. Now, Sean Ross Sapp said, quote, "This, I've gotten a bunch of apologies on background comments and off-the-record calls, but if we mess up a story, we're expected to correct it publicly. PWInsider and Fightful were both told directly he took issue with the Gulak-Rousey aspect that neither reported." Now, as I mentioned, there is a bit more of an update from this from PWInsider, as well as from another report from Fightful Select, which we'll get into in just a second. Let's start off with PWInsider's reaction to this. This comes from Mike Johnson. He says, quote, "This afternoon, following WWE Backlash France, Paul Levesque took a question regarding Drew Gulak's exit from WWE, citing my reporting as well as Fightful.com, before asking if Ronda Rousey's comments about Gulak on News Nation led to his departure. Levesque responded that the person asking the question should be citing credible outlets, which obviously anyone listening would have felt Levesque was referring directly to PWInsider as well as Fightful. He says, quote, "Given I've been invited to the WWE Performance Center on multiple occasions, have personally interviewed Levesque one-on-one, and have been credentialed at dozens of WWE events from WrestleMania on down over a decade, the comment was, to say the least, head-scratching to me. In reaching out to WWE after the conference, we were told by the company that Levesque's comments were not meant to be taken as him knocking either site, but that he was taking issue with the person asking a question based on reports a talent was released when in fact the talent's deal was simply expiring." It continues by saying, quote, "We were also told that no offense was, quote, intended." Yes, that's what we were told. In regards to Drew Gulak's exit, PWInsider at no point connected it in their reporting with Ronda's comments, since that would be us simply inferring, as opposed to doing what a credible outlet does, confirm their reporting. Quote, it then continues by saying, "Gulak was removed from WWE's internal roster yesterday, the same day as all other NXT releases yesterday. WWE can state his contract expired expired or will expire shortly, but whether they renewed Drew Gulak's contract or they decided to cut him, it's all the same. He is exiting the company and not at his own behest. So a bit more of an update comes from Fightful Select as well when it comes to, it's actually quite a big report on Drew Gulak's exit from WWE, which we'll get to in just a second. But this is what they said from Fightful Select. They said, quote, "In regards to Triple H's comments, we'll provide as much transparency as possible. It was reiterated to us by WWE and Triple H that the comments weren't intended to be directed at Fightful or PWInsider. Whether anyone chooses to believe that is up to them, but Fightful received numerous apologies. We were told Triple H's particular issue was that Ronda Rousey's accusations of Gulak grabbing her sweatpants string were not the contributing factor to Gulak's departure. We will discuss the situation more on this week's shows. We're told PWInsider received apologies as well. Whether or not those apologies to the outlets are in good faith are to be determined. While Gulak is still under WWE contract, I'll get to that in just a second. But what do you make of all of this? What do you make of Triple H's comments? What do you think of the apologies off the record? Should there be a public apology if indeed they are sorry? Or if they're not sorry, should they not say anything at all? What's your feeling on all of this? Let me know your thoughts, your reaction to all of it in the comment section below. Now, when it comes to Drew Gulak as well, and it's quite difficult here because, of course, these two stories are kind of mixed together, but I think it is best to separate. Let's talk about Drew Gulak's departure and really more detail surrounding this, because it looks like WWE has done some more investigating and come to a decision on his future. Now, at the WWE post-show press conference, as I mentioned, Triple H answered a question regarding Drew Gulak, noting that he was not released by the company. Now, Fightful Sean Ross Sapp and Corey Brennan have confirmed with multiple WWE and NXT sources that Gulak is still actually with the company, but was informed they would not be re-signing him once his deal expires next month. Gulak was reportedly informed recently. Now, in regards to the recent claims of sexual misconduct made by Ronda Rousey, Brennan is told that this initiated an investigation by WWE into the incident and Gulak as a whole. From those that Fightful spoke to in NXT, the belief is that Gulak's public response to Rousey's claim only made things worse for the former Cruiserweight champion, but was not the determining factor in the decision to not bring him back. In asking around with talent in NXT, several talent made claims to Brennan that Gulak was a bully who would often target injuries during matches with talent that were recovering from minor injuries at the time. One talent claimed that during a match with Gulak, the former No Quarter Catch crew member purposefully re-dislocated a previously dislocated finger, while another claimed that Gulak would intimidate talent into not reporting the incidents. Fightful also learned of an incident during an NXT taping last year where Gulak was verbally reprimanded by Shawn Michaels and NXT coaches for intentionally spiking an opponent during a match. On the NXT talent who worked with Gulak, one NXT talent who worked with Gulak noted that he was, quote, odd in the sense he would often test talent to see if they would react to his bullying. Now, while Gulak is still under contract to WWE and was informed that his WWE deal would not be renewed, despite him wishing to remain with the company. So again, that's the latest details when it comes to Drew Gulak. What are your thoughts on that investigation, that outcome, all of it? Let me know your thoughts or reaction in the comment section below. Now, one of the worst kept secrets in pro wrestling was confirmed yesterday, and that is the date and location for next year's WrestleMania 41 event. WrestleMania 41 is heading to Las Vegas, Nevada after weeks of speculation regarding its location following WrestleMania 40. The event will be held later in April than usual, but will remain spread out over 2 days, taking over Allegiant Stadium on April 19 and April 20. The announcement was made during the NBC broadcast of the Kentucky Derby pre-show on Saturday. Former World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and Women's World Champion Becky Lynch were seen at the event before the broadcast showed a video of the announcement narrated by WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque. He said, quote, "In case you've been living under a rock, WWE is on fire right now," Levesque said in the video, "and next year we're bringing the show of shows to Las Vegas, WrestleMania in the entertainment capital of the world. The only question is, are you ready?" Now, the location of WrestleMania 41 was previously heavily rumored to be Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was previously reported the city was excited to announce that WWE would be bringing the grandest stage of them all to Minnesota. According to Fightful Select, after the success of the kickoff press conference before the Super Bowl in Las Vegas this year, plans for the preferred location changed. There were also rumblings for a change of date for WrestleMania 41, with discussions of moving it to May following the cold weather of night one of this year's event in Philadelphia. Now, as far as why Minnesota didn't get WrestleMania, there's also some more details on this as well. Reports, as I said, had indicated that WrestleMania could be going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Speaking to the Star Tribune, President and Chief Executive of Minnesota Sports and Events, Wendy Backshaw, revealed that WWE informed them that they won't be hosting the event due to a change in direction by new ownership. Backshaw said, quote, "We were informed by WWE that Minnesota would not host WrestleMania in 2025 due to a change in direction by new ownership. Although disappointed, we are in discussions with WWE about future events in Minnesota. We are optimistic that Minnesota will host WWE events here in the future." Now, WWE has announced that during WrestleMania week, Raw, SmackDown, NXT Stand and Deliver, and WWE World and the 2025 Hall of Fame ceremony will take place in Las Vegas. Now, CM Punk, this is a really interesting and quite funny story. He was on the Backlash pre-show last night, and that was held at WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, of course, with Backlash being in France. But for the former WWE champion, he couldn't actually get out of the building. Now, CM Punk posted a series of very funny stories to Instagram where he detailed his afternoon adventures around WWE headquarters. Now, noting that he had been in the building for his pre-show appearance, and when he went to the bathroom to change, he got locked in, and when he came out, everyone was gone. First sneaking around the WWE gym, Punk explained his plight before deciding to go on the move. In another story, Punk noted a door labeled Executive Wellness and said, "This sounds really fancy." In his whispering stories, he references his mission, both some Phantom of the Opera type shit, as well as being Dante from Clerks, before he ventured out of the gym and into the halls of WWE HQ. Moving around swiftly, he commented, "This is cool, this is all cool," before noting, "My stuff is still here," so he mused perhaps he could be sleeping on one of the couches in the green room inside WWE HQ. Now, we still don't know what happened to CM Punk. We would hope he's out there. If we get any updates on the story on the caper, we'll let you know in the future. And finally, WWE has announced several first-round matches for the men's King of the Ring tournament beginning this Monday night on Raw. Backlash is now behind us, meaning WWE is now turning its attention to the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments, which will culminate at the King and Queen of the Ring PLE in Saudi Arabia on May 25. We knew that the tournaments would begin on Monday's Raw, but we now know which matchups will take place. The announcement was made during Backlash in Lyon on Saturday, but a hype package has also been posted on social media. Raw will feature no fewer than 8 King and Queen of the Ring matches, likely comprising most of, if not all, of the evening's matchups. The men's matches are Gunther vs. Sheamus, Drew McIntyre vs. Finn Balor, Ricochet vs. Ilya Dragunov, and Kofi Kingston vs. Rey Mysterio. The women's matches include Lyra Valkyria vs. Asuka, Io Sky vs. Natalya, Zoe Stark vs. Ivy Nile, and Zelina Vega vs. Shayna Baszler. With the Raw and SmackDown rosters set to lock on Monday following the conclusion of the 2024 WWE Draft, Monday's episode features only half of the field in each tournament, with the other half, including the confirmed participants like LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Santos Escobar, likely taking place on SmackDown. No bracket has been revealed yet, though it seems likely that wrestlers will take on other wrestlers from their brand until the finals, which will pit the Raw finalists against their SmackDown counterparts. But there you go, guys. That's the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.